What's going on, YouTube? So when it comes to bold designs, one of the brands that's pushing the envelope the furthest is Hyundai. And now they have a new flagship SUV for their lineup. This is the all-new 2026 IONIQ 9. This three-row SUV is packing some serious space, luxury, and design that are normally reserved for the luxury brands. But the price tag is also pretty rich, so we want to know, is it worth it? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Let's quickly start things off with our spec dump. So all models have a 110.3 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. There's several different performance tiers, but this one is the top one with 422 horsepower and 311 miles of range.
Now the base price for the IONIQ 9 is around $59,000, and if you're looking to buy one or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes to get the best price. Now, of course, we can't wait to show you the exterior as well as the interior, so let's go ahead and dive in.
And like I was saying, this is a SUV that really pushes the design envelope, and you can tell that really as soon as you walk up to it. It really looks like nothing else on the road. That begins up here in the front, where you're going to see a very smooth design. This, of course, is for aerodynamics. It's a very aerodynamic vehicle, about 0.26 in terms of your overall aerodynamic coefficient of drag, and up in the front, it's mostly going to be sealed off. Of course, this is part of the IONIQ brand, so this does mean it is a full electric product. They've opted to go for something that kind of looks like a grille, but it is still sealed off, except for down here on your lower fascia. There's 6 different trims you can get. The Calligraphy model, which we're showing today, is a little bit different down here on the lower face. Now, in terms of our lighting, of course, you've got those signature pixel lights like the other IONIQ products. They're very distinct, going all the way across the entire front and coming over here. The headlight unit itself is going to be this chunk down below. We've got the stacked crystal design, again, very unique. And then over here you have another little light section. This all kind of works together on the Calligraphy to give you cool animations and light sequences that you can actually customize. Now, as we move to the wheels, you're going to have several selections depending on your trims. It begins at 19 inches and goes up to 21-inch alloys. What we have here is an exclusive wheel, so this is part of the Calligraphy design trim level. So this kind of elevates even above the Calligraphy with the multi-spoke turbine wheels with the contrast finish. I think they look very distinct and certainly help this vehicle to stand out even more. Also distinct is this very interesting wheel surround. It is body color. Got some black accents down here on the bottom. And in terms of our mirrors, you're looking at standard heating and blind spot monitoring on all versions. You will also add power folding if you choose the SEL or above.
Now, moving on to the side of the IONIQ 9, you once again will see a very bold overall shape to this product. It's a little bit less squared off than your typical gasoline SUV, of course, to add to the aerodynamic bits. Now, like Drew was mentioning, all of your lower cladding is going to be body color here on the Calligraphy design. You can also get some contrast versions depending on which trim level you select. We have some chrome around our window surrounds, and we also have silver roof rails up at the top. Now, as far as the overall vehicle length, it's 199.2 inches, which places it very similar to something like that all-new upcoming Hyundai Palisade. And then working our way around to the rear design of this IONIQ 9. Once again, I hope you really like bold designs, because there certainly is no other SUV on the market that looks like this. So let's just go ahead and start breaking down some of the individual design characteristics. So underneath of kind of the integrated spoiler here, you will have a rear window wiper, a very flat piece of glass through here. Our Hyundai logo is actually integrated into the glass itself, and then we have prominent IONIQ 9 branding. Now, the taillights, though, are definitely the most signature element of the rear design, because they actually extend all the way up and through this top portion, so they connect to one another, and it really creates a cool look at nighttime. And of course, it has the same pixel design theme, and every element in here is LED, so that will include your brake light, your turn signal, and then your LED reverse light is integrated in this lower housing right through here. All of this is gloss black, and as far as your tow rating, it comes in at 3,500 pounds for the rear drive models, or 5,000 pounds as tested today. And now let's discuss safety systems as well. That's really straightforward in this model because you're going to get every single one of your active safety features as standard equipment, and that will even include things like Highway Drive Assist 2.0, which is quite advanced. I do also want to point out, of course, you may have noticed on the outside that we have matte paint colors. There are two exclusive matte paint colors, Sage Silver and Gravity Gold. So there are some really bold options as well. But guys, I think you're going to be very pleasantly surprised with the interior and how luxurious it is. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from our long-term vehicle videos to our side-by-side comparisons, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. And now let's move to the cabin. Of course, before we get inside, we do have a standard smart entry system. Digital key is on your top examples, and you've got the pop-out door handles. They come out when you approach the vehicle. And then let's take a look at the interior of this vehicle. So I think you'll maybe be surprised at the interior. Not that it's super traditional, but it is a lot more traditional than the exterior. And Hyundai has done a lot to really maximize hard buttons so everything feels nice and familiar. Before we get into all those details though, let's talk about the seats. So of course you've got a standard power seat. However, one of the things that's really nice about this model is if you get the limited or above, you're going to get the relaxation seat. So what does that do? Well, that gives you the ability to, say when you're charging or something like that, bring the seat all the way back, pop out this recliner, and just have an epic nap. Furthermore, if you get the Calligraphy like we have today, that gives you ergo motion massage. So you'll see the button right there on the door trim. You got several different modes you can choose from. Of course, memory seats are located right there as well. This is a leatherette. So the base trims will come with cloth. There is no genuine leather. However, this feels quite realistic. Good color choices as well. So this is obviously a dark gray and a light gray down here on the lower panel. But let's go ahead and climb inside so we can get into all the details. So as far as other cabin materials, we'll begin with the door trim. We've got leatherette all across here, perforated leatherette through the center section, soft touch plastic along the top. Up here on the dash, we've got more soft touch material. We have this very interesting, I don't know if it's necessarily trying to mimic wood, but it kind of looks like wood running through the center section. And then you've got some kind of silver painted plastic running through the center. Down here on our center tunnel, this is not going to be padded, but everything does feel nice and solid. And then to fire up the vehicle, you have your push button start located on the shifter itself. So starting on our tour with the gauge cluster, as you can see, we've got a dual 12.3-inch screen arrangement, very familiar to many Hyundai products. And as you can see, just their electric gauges, this does change with each individual drive mode, And if you get one of the higher end trim levels, this will give you the blind spot camera system. The Calligraphy model will also give you a large head-up display with a lot of useful information inside of it. Now, as we pull back to the steering wheel, we've got a two-tone finish, which matches with the seats. You've got that 4-dot design here with our pixels that actually give you the charge status. The wheel itself is power tilt and telescoping on our limited trim and above, heated on your SEL trim level and above. But let's talk about interior storage, because when you're cross-shopping this, say, with a traditional gas-powered 3-row SUV, having an electric vehicle does give you a lot of additional storage options. You certainly see that reflected here with this IONIQ 9. So when I open up our center console, obviously, first of all, we got one little donut. We're in Georgia today, so we don't have all of our donuts. We look forward to doing the full donut test very soon. But guys, look at this. This thing is absolutely enormous. It drops down like almost as far as my whole arm, and then it goes all the way back here like this. So this is going to easily be able to take all 24 donuts, I guarantee it. By the way, this also opens in both directions. It's got 2 cup holders in it. It has a wireless phone charging pad as standard equipment. Now, you also have a storage shelf here, and another storage shelf here. And another storage shelf here. So you have ample storage, that is for sure. Plus, this has a trick up its sleeve. Most of the models actually do come equipped with this, so you can slide the console back. That's going to give you all of this space, so you could come in, drop something like maybe a purse or something like that right there, or give better access to the rear occupants. A lot of utility was thought about with this model. There's a fingerprint reader which works with the digital key system. And then the shifter itself, as you saw earlier, is up here on the steering column. Twist up for drive, down for reverse. When you go into reverse, we've got the 360-degree camera system. This is an SEL feature and above. You can press that button right there and spin all around the vehicle like so. Graphics are very nice. And just press the end there for park. Now, as we move on from that, we kind of come to this panel. First of all, you'll notice that you've got a lot of actual hard buttons, very refreshing for an electric SUV, including our climate control, temperature adjustment. It's a 3-zone automatic system on all models. You can make some manual adjustments with the little touch-sensitive pad through there. You can also turn on and off your standard heated seats and your ventilated seats, which start at the SEL trim level. Above that, you've got physical controls, including a volume knob. We've got the Bose sound system on board with today's example. This starts at the limited trim level, and we'll give it a sample. Yeah, sound quality of the system is pretty good. In typical Bose fashion, it's a little bit bass heavy, but I think it sounds pretty nice overall. All right, so let's zero in now at our main infotainment screen. I already said it's 12.3 inches. Right now we've got wireless Android Auto going. Of course, you also have wireless Apple CarPlay, and I'll kind of head back into the Hyundai system. This is the new CCNC, so graphics and performance are going to be quite good. You have built-in navigation as well. But other than having a few little areas for specific EV information, it's otherwise pretty conventional. So you can just kind of click into that, but otherwise it's very similar to other Hyundai products. Up top, you have an auto-dimming mirror on many of the upper trim levels. This, though, is a digital camera rearview mirror on our Calligraphy trim, cutting out all those back obstructions. This also comes with the really nice suede headliner that goes even on the cover for the panoramic sunroof. So Hyundai includes this as standard equipment on both the limited and Calligraphy trim levels. The sunshade's super fast, the glass is large, and unlike a lot of the rivals, the front panel still opens up.
Perhaps even more important than the front is this rear seat area, and boy, is there a lot to talk about here in this IONIQ 9's rear area. Now, first of all, I do want to just go ahead and talk about overall space figures for this model. Previously we didn't have those numbers, but now we do. 42.8 inches of legroom and 39.4 inches of headroom. Those are really fantastic figures. That's going to be just as good as something like a Hyundai Palisade, and really one of the largest rear seats that you can get in hardly any SUV size. Now, of course, we brought the official Car Confections ruler along for our journey to see how much knee room we have behind Drew's 5'8" driving position. I'm 5'9" for reference, and look at that. Very few cars do this, but we have the full foot of knee space. That is really fantastic. My feet can also slide up underneath of the seat quite easily. And then as far as the seats themselves, you will notice that we have two back here. We have the captain's chair setup. That's standard on the limited trims and above, and that means that we have 6 passenger seating overall. You can get bench seating if you prefer as well to add that to 7 passengers. And then if you get this, you have the nice armrest and the really nice kind of like wing style headrest that feels really comfortable. That's not all, though, because you'll notice on the side that we actually do have a fully power adjusting seat. So that's a really nice feature to be included here on the top end models, the full power seat, and it's going to include things like a power recliner that pops out. So that's going to allow you to really raise up and kind of relax. So especially if you could scoot that seat forward, or maybe the passenger side, you literally have almost like an executive style rear seating area. So that is really, really nice. Now, not done yet though with features, because we have quite a few in the center area. First of all, you have USB ports in each seat back. You have both heated and ventilated seats. Ventilation is included on limited and above. Heating is on SEL and above. Our own climate controls, and we have this little pop-out storage cubby that connects with the front center console, so you do have access to that here in the rear, as well as the ability to just kind of pop that up. If you look over at the door trim, once again, a lot of features. We have rear window sunshades. That's included on your upper end examples. The same premium door trim as the front. Lots of leatherette, the same perforations. We have two cup holders in the door itself. And then we also have quite a bit of door storage down in the very bottom pocket, and then vents coming out of the ceiling. So overall, this is a fantastic rear seat for the family. And let's check out the third row as well. So in order to get back there, they have made it quite easy. You just press this button once. That's going to allow the seat to kind of slowly fold out of the way. I do point out that it is a little bit slow, although it is fully power, and you would have to remove a child seat because the back does move. Now, sitting back here in the third row itself, we are going to be sitting at pretty good figures back here as well. 32 inches of legroom and about 40 inches of headroom. So really, the headroom is very impressive. I was not expecting to have this much headroom, especially given how sloped back the roof is. So overall, really good stuff. This seat, keep in mind, is slid all the way back. I'm 5'9". I don't have any extra leg room, but my feet can slide up underneath of the seat, and I think the thigh support is actually quite good. So overall, to me, it feels very similar to something like the all-new Palisade, which I have also sat in the third row of. So I think you're going to be pretty happy back here. Two rear seats. We have a cup holder on each side. We also have buttons that will allow me to power recline these third row seats. That makes it a lot more comfortable. We have USB ports as well as vents in the ceiling. One thing you will notice that's missing from the Palisade is no power sliding and no heating in the IONIQ 9. As far as how it ranks on our third row rating scale, I'm going to say this is fit for the in-laws. Walking up to the tailgate, of course, we do have a hands-free power one. You just press that button to open it if you want to do it manually. And as far as the space is concerned, back here, 22 cubic feet of space behind the third row of seats. If we fold those down, about 46 cubic feet is what you can expect, and as a maximum, 87 cubic feet. For those of you good with your numbers, you'll know that's exactly the same as the current Palisade that's for sale. So those are pretty darn good figures. And let's go ahead and talk about some of the features as well, because there are quite a few of them back here. You will notice off to the right-hand side that allows you to power fold the third row. So with just one press of the button, you can power fold that. And one more press of the button, you can also power fold the second row. Oh, there we go. It's just a little bit slow to do it. I pressed a few too many times. There you go. And they will slowly fold down to give you that maximum cargo capacity. As you can see, you have a completely flat loading floor. Speaking of the loading floor, let's see our cargo length, width, and height figures. This is a Car Confections review after all. As far as cargo length behind Drew's 5'8" driving position, we are looking at really good 88 inches of length. From behind the second row with it slid all the way back, 48 inches of length. Behind the third row, 21 inches. As far as cargo opening, that's quite good, 45 inches wide. Here's where I think it's not going to be as good, and indeed I'm correct, 29 inches of height. It's definitely shorter than your average SUV when it comes to the overall cargo height. Let's see the load-in height as well. It's going to be about 31 inches. Now, underneath of the floor, you will find a little bit of extra storage. Off to the right side, you have a household outlet, and then we also have a 12-volt outlet right through here. And by the way, if you are curious as to maybe how this IONIQ 9 compares to gasoline options that you could be cross-shopping with, maybe in the three-row midsize segment, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. The reason you do that is because we test out all of the options in each segment, and we actually rank them in individual categories that might matter more or less to you, such as cargo space, interior technology, powertrain choices, resale reliability, luxury amenities as well. So if you want to make an informed buying decision, we definitely recommend you check that tool out on our website.
Now we went ahead and popped the hood. One thing I do want to point out is that we've got a frunk, enough storage in here to fit your charging and a little bit of extra stuff inside of there. But let's go ahead and talk about some performance and specifications. I'm sure you want to know more about those nitty-gritty details. Now, when it comes to this model, all of them are going to have a 110.3 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack as the foundation. However, there's going to be 3 configurations from there: long range rear wheel drive, long range all wheel drive, and then performance all wheel drive. I'll go ahead and put all the specifications on the screen right now because there's a lot of numbers to kind of absorb in. As far as this model, starting at the limited trim is where you get that performance all wheel drive, 422 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. Also, not a lot of penalty for this model in terms of range, so you still get over 311 miles, which is quite good compared to the competitive set this vehicle is going against. Now, as far as some other things to point out, I think it's very important to say that this does have NACS, the new North American Charging Standard, right from the beginning. So it's going to be future-proof in terms of that, and you can charge with that system 10 to 80% in 41 minutes on this ultra-fast 800-volt charging capability. Now, this vehicle is promising to deliver a lot of performance. It also has things like acoustic glass, so it's promising to be very quiet. And we can't wait to put that to the test, but you're going to have to wait just a little while longer. We are under a driving impressions embargo until the date you see down below. That's when we're going to be taking this vehicle out on the road, showing you all the signature things, including our sound level reading and the performance of this model. We can't wait to share that with you, so come back on that date you see down below.
And let's talk pricing for the IONIQ 9. So we start at around $58,995 for the S rear drive model. Now, as we move up the trim structure, those prices do inflate quite a bit. You can see the full lineup of pricing on the screen right now. You end with this one, the Calligraphy Design Performance All-Wheel Drive, which starts at $76,490. Now, all told, we are sitting very close to that $80,000 price point, so do know that this is going to be a more expensive choice than something like a fully loaded Palisade by a pretty significant margin. However, we are here in Georgia, and this actually where this vehicle is manufactured. So as of the time of us filming this video, it is still qualified for the $7,500 tax credit. So that's something that kind of alleviates that price difference a little bit. Now, if you're looking to buy a Hyundai IONIQ 9 or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. We even have a monthly payment tool, so if you'd like to check that out, you can find that in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. But buying a vehicle is about more than just the original MSRP, so let's go ahead and talk about resale and reliability. First up, let's talk about resale value. As an economics graduate myself, Drew and I took the time to develop what we think is a good estimate for this Hyundai IONIQ 9's potential resale value. We estimate that after 5 years and 60,000 miles, it'll be worth 55.3% of original MSRP, and after 10 years and 120,000 miles, 19.6%. Now, it's worth noting those are pretty good industry average resale values. It's actually above the industry average. However, due to this being an electric product as well as a more expensive Hyundai product, I would expect maybe a little bit lower percentages than that, and it is less than Toyota and Honda, respectively.
Now, we've also done the same for reliability by developing the Combined Reliability Index. This takes into account several studies on reliability and combines them in a way that gives you a more holistic picture. When we look at the latest 2025 figures, Hyundai is rated just about at the overall industry average for all vehicle makes.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about our resale values and reliability information, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/resale and carconfections.com/reliability. Buying a new vehicle is a very big decision, so you want to make sure you're making a smart purchase, especially if you're cross-shopping between different vehicle brands. Now, when it comes to your warranty, I do want to point out that you have a 5-year, 60,000-mile basic warranty. You get 10 years and 100,000 miles on your battery and powertrain components. And one new thing for all 2026 Hyundais is the fact that complimentary maintenance has actually been deleted, so there is no complimentary maintenance on this model. And guys, that's going to wrap up part 1 of our in-depth review of the all-new 2026 Hyundai IONIQ 9. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, which we really hope you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to get the latest car reviews such as this, and you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We have a lot of fun on this channel, and I promise you won't want to miss out, and we cover a lot of cars that you may be interested in. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support. And we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.